Let's talk about food. What's your favorite local food?
My favorite local food would have to be, I don't have the exact name for it, but it's this sweet wheat bread with honey glazed on top and cheese. It's the perfect combination of sweet and savory and salty, and it just gives you everything you want at the moment. Everything, it's perfect.
How often do you eat traditional food?
Not very often, actually. I don't have a specific food that I always go to every time. I eat Asian food, Indian food. Yeah, dear God, I messed up there.
That's fine. Do you think that your local food is healthy?
Yes, I do. I do think it's healthy, but it can also be unhealthy. I mean, it really depends. For the most part, yes, I do think it's healthy because it caters to the nutrients and stuff that you need. So yes, I do think that it's healthy.
How has food culture changed in your city over the years?
Food culture, it hasn't necessarily changed. I think it's just grown more. So sorry.
No, you don't be sorry.
So sorry.
Don't be sorry. So a little tip, don't try and think of the most sophisticated answer. Pick something that is easy to talk about. Okay, so let's talk about listening. What do you like to listen to?
I love to listen to music and podcasts, especially relating to criminology and true crime stories. I really enjoy that.
Do you prefer to listen to music or factual programs?
Music. Music, it adheres to everything you feel and anything you feel. There's just music for everything. So, music.
Has what you listen to helped you learn anything?
Yes, it has helped me learn a lot about emotions, actually. Other people's emotions, their perspectives, as well as my own. So, yes.
Is there any non-musical content that interests you?
Like I said before, true crime podcasts. I truly enjoy listening to that if I'm studying or I simply want to just relax and listen to something. True crime podcasts.
Now let's talk about self-improvement. How do you try to improve yourself?
I try to improve myself by interacting with other people because typically I like to be alone and I like to just do my own thing. So I like to socialize to better improve my skills.
What would you like to be better at?
I would like to be better at conveying my emotions. I would like to be able to seem less apathetic and more empathetic. Like, I understand you, I just can't show you that.
Do you like to make plans for the future?
Yes, I do. I love to plan ahead. I love to have goals. So I have something that I'm inching towards. There's something waiting for me, yes.
And how do you stay motivated?
By reminding myself what could be and what will be. I look at my goals, they're not unattainable. I can get them, I can get there, and I will. And that's what motivates me.
What's the most important lesson you've learned recently?
The most important lesson I've learned is okay. The most important lesson I've learned recently is that you should live for yourself, not for others, because people, they come and go, and in the end, you're the only one you have. So live for yourself, not for others. Focus on yourself and your goals and get there. So there was a time where I had a friend, a male, who had a very violent outburst regarding something personal in his personal life. He was volatile, screaming, aggressive. It was horrible, and patience was needed. All I could really do was sit back and listen, but not just listen, hear, understand, and comprehend what he's saying, like truly hear him. So he was growing more aggressive, and when I tried to speak, he would instantly silence me. No, I want to yell. Let me yell. I want to scream. I was like, all right. Sat back, I listened, and my patience was wearing thin, but I managed to keep my composure, and the more I listened and stayed calm and looked at him and remained unflappable, he slowly began to calm down and match my energy. And in that moment, I realized if I wasn't calm and I kept talking instead of listening and interrupting, he would have just grown more aggressive, more volatile. And it wouldn't have ended well for either of us. Thankfully, in that moment, it made me realize that patience and remaining calm really does help. Yeah, the outcome could have been different in many ways. It could have been horrible. It could have been great. Thankfully, I approached it well, and it ended up well.
We've been talking about patience, and we're going to continue to talk about patience a little bit in part 3. How does impatience affect relationships? To thank you for watching this video, I want to give you a free course that has helped thousands of students improve their IELTS speaking score. What it's going to do is take you through every single part of the test and give you strategies for part 1, part 2, and part 3, and also allow you to practice at home for free and get feedback. To sign up for that for free, all you have to do is just click the link in the description. Thanks very much, and let's get back to the video.
Impatience affects relationships negatively. I truly don't see, in my opinion, I don't see how that could impact a relationship positively. Impatience is typically associated with negative emotions and situations. For example, if they're on a date at a restaurant, the food's taking a little longer than it should, and one of them have an outburst. They're impatient. Where's my food? Where is this? Where's that? It's embarrassing to their partner. People will perceive you as this impatient, arrogant, rude person, and who you are kind of reflects on your partner. So it just doesn't end well for either or.
What can parents do to teach their children patience?
I think parents can teach children patience by being patient themselves. They adapt to what they see, what they hear. They learn from the parents. So if the parent is impatient, the child's going to be impatient. The child doesn't know any better. All they have is their parents. And if the parent's great, the child's great. If the parent's bad, well, the child's gonna learn that and maybe be bad.
Now let's talk about patience within a professional context. How important is patience in professional development?
Extremely important. In professional development and just professional settings overall, patience, in my opinion, I actually think patience is just important in general. But in a professional setting, yeah, it's very important because, one wrong move could sever so many possible connections with other professional people or companies. And that's one move. Okay, well, I'm not answering that well.
Okay, no problem. Why do some jobs require more patience than others?
I think it's based on the clients they have. For example, therapists, of course, they need patience. They focus on people who need patience, who need people to listen. But in a fast food joint, I think everyone's a bit impatient, even though workers are a bit impatient. Everyone's running around. So I think it truly depends on the profession and the clients. And when it's needed, it's needed. When it's not, it's not. But it's best to have it overall.
How can organizations better manage people's expectations of time?
I think that by actually interacting with their intended targets, they can grow. Okay. I think by interacting with their intended targets, they can. My brain shut down. I'm so sorry. Hold on. Can you repeat the question?
Mm-hmm. So how can organizations like businesses better manage people's expectations of time? So customers being impatient with businesses and people who work there?
I think it just comes down to how you treat the customers, because in the end, the customer, like, no matter what you do, there's always going to be one customer that's upset, unhappy, unsatisfied. You can't please everyone. So what you can do is just give the people what they want to a certain degree that's still within your company's boundaries, and do the best you can. And when there is that one unhappy customer, stay calm, listen, although it's irritating, and hopefully all will be well.
Now, normally what I would do is I would give you your scores and everything, but you really want to get into a great university and do a great course. I would really like to just help you. And there's a few things that I can tell you now that will really, really help you and make the process of doing the IELTS test when you're doing it soon just less stressful for you. Because I think half the battle is stress and management of stress and things like that. Your pronunciation is pretty much perfect. Your grammar is perfect. Your vocabulary is perfect. When you're speaking about something you're comfortable talking about, your fluency is perfect. You're at a band 9, but there's a couple of issues that are going to stop you getting there, or you're going to be so nervous on test day that you're going to have to repeat the test over and over, and it's going to be expensive and time consuming. You're doing things that we see very commonly. I can help you with those things. And then we'll go straight into doing another one, because what I would like to actually show people is someone at your level, an extremely high level English speaker, very intelligent girl, is having issues that can be fixed very easily. Part 1, you will get questions that you don't feel comfortable with. So there's 2 things that I think you can do. When we were speaking before the test, before the camera started rolling, you're one of the most fluent people I've ever spoken to. You need to approach the test like a conversation. Maybe don't see me maybe you can't see me as a friend, but maybe see me as like if we were working together. It seems as if you are directing your nervousness inward and being like, I don't really know how to answer that question. Instead, just be like, that's a really unusual question. I haven't really thought about that. But if I had to give an answer, don't think that you are the problem. The test is the problem. It's a silly test, Someone like you who is so good at speaking English and I'm asking you silly questions, like, see it that way. It's fine to say, I'm not really into food. I don't really know much about food. If you say that to the examiner, if they're a good examiner, will steer the conversation away. Part 2, I think, was your best part, because you related it to your real life. I wouldn't talk about something that is so personal that you're like, oh, I feel a little bit uncomfortable. But even if you talk about the most boring, inane thing, your job is to get a high IELTS score with the least amount of stress possible. It is not to entertain anybody. All right? It is not to show everyone how great your answers are. Mm-hmm. And the same with part 3. You need to have a more relaxed approach, like, I don't know, I've never really thought about that, but I guess. And again, if for something related to your life, you could talk about that. Do you want to try it all again?
So I can just be casual.
Exactly.
Okay, casual. Oh my God, okay. All right.
Okay. Let's talk about entertainment. What do you do for entertainment?
I read books like The Odyssey, actually. I love The Odyssey. I'm really into Greek mythology. So I write sometimes, and listen to music for entertainment.
What's your absolute favorite way to spend free time?
Combining music and literature and coming out with amazing writing. So yeah.
Now let's talk about shopping. Where do you usually go shopping?
I go shopping on online clothing stores because they're more easily accessible.
What's your favorite thing to shop for?
Books. All kinds of books, but mostly books relating Greek mythology.
And what do you think makes a good shopping experience?
I think it's how you're feeling in the moment. Like if you're in a good mood and you're hitting one of the shops you love the most, you're going to have a great shopping experience. But if you're feeling down or you're just not in the mood, you won't enjoy it.
Let's talk about photography. Do you like taking photos?
Yes, I do like taking photos, but not of myself.
Who do you like taking photos of, or what do you like taking photos of?
Really beautiful moments like the moon shining in the sky, or my cats.
Can you tell me about the last picture you took?
The last picture I took was a picture of my cat backflipping midair. So I learned something new online when I was just casually scrolling through my phone at like midnight. I was going through TikTok and then a scandal popped up. And this one influencer, trusted, admired, truly liked by everyone, got exposed for being a liar, a cheat, scammer. Although I knew, you can't trust what you see on social media, that person truly felt like down to earth, like one of us, not just an influencer. So in that moment, I realized, okay, you truly, really can't trust any of these people on social media. It helped me realize that I need to stop believing what I see, who they are, because they don't know me, I don't know them, I don't know anything, really. So that is what I learned, that people are just liars on social media most of the time.
We've been talking about what you learned online, and we're going to continue to talk about that topic. And let's start off by talking about digital learning. How has online learning changed education in recent years? To thank you for making it this far in the video, I want to give you 10% off our VIP course. The IELTS VIP course is the most successful IELTS course in the world. That is a fact because we have more Band 7, 8 and 9 success stories than any other IELTS course in the entire world. We do that by simplifying the whole IELTS process, supporting you with some of the best IELTS teachers in the world, and being with you every step of the way until you get the score that you need. All you have to do is just look down in the description, just click that, and you can sign up. If you have any questions about the VIP course, always feel free to get in touch with us. We answer 100% of the questions that we get. Hope that you become a VIP. If not, enjoy the rest of this free video.
I think there's been many advantages and disadvantages. Advantages being there are many students who can't attend physical school, or there are students struggling with mental issues where they can't really interact with the teachers and the students, and it's just they're not meant for physical school, so it truly helps them. Or there are students working and they can't attend physical school, so that's an advantage. Disadvantage, cheating is a possibility. I mean, it's a possibility in physical school too, but on online school, cheating is easier. It's much easier. You can access many tools. So I'd say it's both helped and it's both an advantage and a disadvantage.
Hindered is the word.
Oh my God, okay.
Yeah, don't worry.
Whoops.
Don't worry. Do you think traditional universities will be replaced by online learning in the future?
No, I don't. I think that physical universities are here to stay. They've been here for centuries. They'll continue to be here. But I do think that online learning will be incorporated if it hasn't already, and I'm pretty sure it has been. So I think they'll learn to work together, but neither is going.
Let's talk about technology and education. How has technology changed the way people access information in education in the classroom?
I think that technology has actually impacted the way students learn, because with technology, everything is so easily accessible. Just one type into one website and you get everything you're searching for. Students are no longer interacting with each other unless they're forced into group projects, because they're not asking each other for help. They have technology. Teachers, now they're relying on technology. They're like, search this up, this online textbook, search it up, read it, come back to class, I'll test you. So I think more negatively impacted students in the classroom.
Do you think there are any downsides to having instant access to information?
Yes, I do, because while they are instant, they may not be accurate. You can search up anything and you will always get an answer no matter what it is, but it doesn't mean it's an accurate, true answer. So yes, I do think that there are downsides because you can be fed false information so easily.
Excellent. Well done. That's the end of the speaking test. So wasn't that better
It was better.
It was better. Why do you think it was better?
More casual, calm, chill.
Yeah. So there's a few things that I would like to help you with. So one, you are trying to find like the perfect word or the perfect thing to say. Your English is good enough to get a band 9. Less than 1% of people in the world get a band 9 with doing the IELTS test.
Okay.
So you are at a very, very high level, but you're trying too hard. All you need to do is show the examiner what you're really capable of and use tactics that allow you to do that, allow you to shine. One thing that I think that you're really good at is talking about personal stories related to these topics. The IELTS test will often be very vague topics. For example, a time you learn something new online, there's so many things that you could choose. Or it could be like a time when you had to be very patient. So many things that you could choose. Choose the thing that's easiest for you to talk about. The other thing that I noticed is you often will stop when you can't think of the right word. For example, hindered, what is a simpler version of that? What is a way you could reformulate? So instead of saying merits and demerits, you couldn't think of demerits, like advantages and disadvantages. Hindered, it stopped them doing well. You can say things in a less precise way that is more fluent for you, because you have to balance vocabulary and fluency. And then the other thing is I could see just with your body language, you were far more relaxed in that time. Like you were literally like sitting on the side of the chair, very, very relaxed. And when you did that, you were a lot more fluent. And then finally, what I would say is feel free to say to the examiner, I don't know much about that. I don't know anything about that. That, not everyone can know everything about everything, that is not what it is. If you do that, you're pretty much guaranteed to get a band 9 because that is the level that you're at. There are thousands of stories about athletes or musical performers or anyone that has to perform that they're the best, but they get it in their own way, You're kind of like that. Any questions or anything I can help you with? Or
No, it's just like, because when I'm speaking like to someone, I'm just casual and I don't really care about if I sound informal or formal. I'm just like, Well,
they're not testing formal academic English. They're testing speaking in general. Because there's two types of people that do the IELTS test. There's people who want to go to university, and then there's people like my wife, for example, who's from Vietnam. She wanted just to move to the UK because she was unfortunate enough to marry someone from there. And she had to move there. What they do is in the speaking test, they put all those people together. So someone like you who wants to study maybe law in a university, or my wife who just wants to move. So it would be unfair to expect my wife to use highly academic language when that's not the purpose or that's not the reason why she's doing the IELTS test. So the solution to that is they don't test academic formal English. They just test English. So just normal everyday English. I know it's hard, but imagine I'm your friend. The examiner is your friend. How would you speak to that person?
Yeah, but most examiners aren't like you. They aren't like you at all.
That's why you use your imagination. So, I don't know. Be an actress for 15 minutes. It's only 15 minutes. Go in and literally pretend you are a person who is very relaxed and is just going to speak in a very relaxed way. Would that help?
Yeah.